Multi-chat. Straight. Up. Go Twitch. You, what up, Tay? How you doing, bro? All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Got some of these reactions. All right, y'all, we got Speak Easy. The Cowboys defense is poorly coached. Now, it might be. I could probably agree to that, but I think it feel like some of the stuff is player related as well. But coaching comes before all, so.
Like absolute dog crap this season.
They have.
And all right, you have to agree that quickly. That's crazy. But they've looked awful. Antro, I saw you posted something about their defense earlier today. I wanted to give you a chance to, go ahead, tell us about it.
Bruh, we talked about this yesterday, and I want to spend a moment, just these little teachable moments. The Cowboys defense, schematically, awful. Communication, awful. Execution, awful. I want to show y'all something you won't find really anywhere else. Rome, ready, go ahead and show it to the world. But the dilemma with the Cowboys right now is a few things, and really I don't know that it's fixable. And that's why I'm worried, because it really seems like they're undermining an MVP caliber season by Dak Prescott. And so whenever we have it ready, I'll show y'all. But in the meantime, I just don't know that it's fixable, Camber. I don't know if it's fixable.
We're not.
Hey, turn this volume up.
Take it. You're gonna get a headache. Bad communication, bad schematics, and bad execution. First thing I'm going to explain to you. A gap, B gap, C gap, A gap, B gap, C gap, D gap. I need you to see just how bad communication is, the scheme is, and the execution is. 50 is telling 59, hey, move to the right. But 59 is like, why would I move to the right? I should have this A gap. 50, he should have this B gap, because who in the hell has this B gap? Now, as 50's telling 59 move to the right, watch which way 59 moves. He moves to the left. Communication, egregiously wrong. So now, these two players don't know what they're doing. 50 on the snap. He sprints into the A gap that 59 seemingly has. And all of a sudden, this is another 10-yard gain that should be a no-yard gain.
Got it.
Communication.
Got it.
Yeah, that's big. That's huge. Everybody, it's like the Bill Belichick thing. Do your job. You got this gap, go to that gap. I don't care if this person is struggling. Do your job. Make sure you do your job. Because if he's not doing his job and he's struggling, then that means we just need to replace him. That's it. And for two guys to fill the same gap, I mean, hey, yeah, I think, yeah, coaching issue, again, communication issue, but coaching trumps all, because the coach is the one who is going to determine who steps on that field.
When you watch the Dallas Cowboys tape, T, when y'all watch it at home, it's so bad that this is like basic high school stuff that should be getting fixed. I went to an Oaks Christian game last Friday out here in California, and they don't make these mistakes. To the point where I'm wondering, who's coaching this? How are you coaching it? And why are you coaching it? T, the first thing you do on defense, and you can educate me on the offense, but the first thing you do on defense is you figure out where you line up. Because the place you line up, it dictates the leverage you have. So very simply put, everybody is responsible for a gap, especially in a one high defense. in a 2-high defense, linebackers, you're responsible for 2 gaps. If the run goes to you, you usually have the C gap. If the run goes away from you, you have the A gap. It's really that simple. But the Cowboys defenders, they're always out of whack. They do not know how to communicate. And Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, schematically, he has them in all types of positions that just don't even make sense. To the point where, Kieran, sometimes I don't even blame the players. When I was going back and watching the Cowboys film, I'm like, wait a second. Who's coaching this?
Yeah.
Because when you see one player do something wrong, on a player, you see 2 players do something wrong, that's on the coach. And when I watch the Cowboys, it's multiple players doing things wrong at the same play. There was a pivotal 4th and 3 in the game, T.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad with the Bears. I think he was the DC with the Colts at one point as well, and I think he was pretty decent with the Colts. But
Bryce Young throws the ball to Hunter Renfrow. Why are 2 defenders standing 7 yards deep on 4th and 3? Everybody on 4th and 3 should have their heels at the first down marker and do not back up. Make TJ carry you past the sticks. Make the wide receiver carry you past the sticks. So at the point in which I'm watching multiple players on the Cowboys defense all do the same thing wrong, it's coaching to me, T. It's coaching to me, Care Bear. It's not just the players. Now it's bad coaches all around.
I refuse to believe that Kenneth Murray doesn't understand basic gap integrity. If I'm watching it, and that's like one clip. There's been multiple clips this weekend where he's literally crossing the other linebacker's path going the opposite direction. Like, I don't know what's happening.
I don't think it's him. Here's what people don't understand about football.
I mean, if that's the situation, it's partially him, but it could be trying to overcompensate, you know. And again, at the end of the day, just do your job. Don't you know? But again, you don't want to give up plays, and again, I get it. You don't want to. You know this dude might not be reliable, so I'm gonna go over there and try to help out, and you know. But
everybody has to be in one accord.
It is what it is.
And you know what's crazy? If I think I'm doing something right, but T's like, "Hey, Acho, it's this," I'm gonna be like, "Is it this or is it that?" You know, like T, if you know you got a 9 route, but Chad looks at you like, "Hey, T, you got to come back," even though you know you got a 9, now you got to start second guessing. Do I have a 9 or do I have a comeback? And it's in real time. So like, and T's nodding and he's smiling because he's probably been there before. So I don't think Kenneth Murray was wrong on that clip. That's number 59. There are players who know they're supposed to do something, but if one player's confused, everybody's seemingly confused.
Playing defense at every level, specifically the NFL, it's very simple. Do your job. Do your job.
There you go.
Because when you try to do my job,
Yep.
now who's going to do your job?
Correct.
Like pizza, you take my slice of the pizza, I got to take your slice. But how do I know you?
And like I said, that's where it go back. So we're gonna probably make this a short video. I'm not gonna lie, but that's where it go back to the whole Bill Belichick philosophy: do your job. Because again, if that guy can't do his job, then we're gonna get him out of there. And, you know, but the coaches have to be the one that's enforcing this. You know what I mean? The coach can't enable guys to overcompensate for other guys, and then in return, it gives up big plays.
You're taking my slice of pizza.
Correct.
And you can't
Resume.
fix this during the season.
Yeah.
This isn't fixable. You do all this in OTAs,
Yes.
in training
I said this
camp.
yesterday.
You
Yep.
go over this to make sure we're locked in. And if, as a coach, if you're making calls that they do not understand,
Yeah.
you need to simplify it. You need to make it to where everybody, you can know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
but I know what I'm doing also.
Yeah.
So now be better than me.
T, did you play against the Legion of Boom?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
You never played against Legion?
No, I was in the league, but I never played against
But you were in the league same time as Legion.
Yes.
I mean, he was in the league when the Ravens had a nice defense and the Steelers had a nice defense. So I think it was borderline better than the Legion of Boom. Borderline.
I don't know if people realize the Legion of
destroyed by
Boom's
bad
defense was
defense.
probably the simplest, best defense in the history of football.
Okay, that's where
Single
you're
high
going with that.
defense press corners, they're going to play you outside leverage because they got safety help inside.
Yep.
Legion of Boom ran 2 calls. They ran man and they ran cover
And they
3.
knew
Cover 3.
exactly how they were going to be attacked because these are the weaknesses in the defense.
Correct.
Beat us because we
Correct.
know how you're going to attack us.
And if you know your weaknesses, you can turn them into strengths.
I'll show you know this, man. It's a lot of fucking dummies that play football.
Talk about
And they're just so talented that you have to play them.
Yeah.
They're dumb. Like, you know how many times I would line up and I would have to tell people what to do? They looking at me. You got this.
Yeah.
You got, and not just Chad, because I know everybody think it's just Chad. No, it's not just Chad. I remember I told a guy, you have this route in the huddle, because I knew he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He's running out. Carson tells him what to do. He still ran the wrong route.
Wow.
We literally just told you 15 seconds prior what to do.
Yeah.
He still ran the wrong route because he was uncertain.
Yeah.
And so some guys get it.
Let me say this. Oh, we going places. Sometimes coaches are too smart for their players. You got to remember, more often than not, a coach is smart, but a player can be dumb. And so a coach will overload a player with information. And so all of a sudden, you got defenses that are going into games with 25 calls.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Make it simple. Make it very simple. And keep the defense simple, but to the strengths of the players. So if we got a bunch of predominantly zone corners, then we're going to predominantly run zone. This is what it is. We're going to keep it very simple.
All you need is 4. You know what I mean? Like,
and
and
on
that's
offense,
talk about it.
man, they might call a play. Can Cowboys defense be fixed out at 30.7 per game per season? Ready, set, go. You like, okay, what words that the quarterback said
Matter to me.
pertain to
Matter
me?
Yeah.
Hold on, T. I'm confused.
There's only like one part.
Break that down, because y'all getting some priceless information right now. Give me a call.
Okay, so
and then tell me what part of the call pertains to you.
So they'll say, let's say trips right. That's the formation. Ron, that's the protection. 383 could be the concept of the play. H flat Y corner. So if you're the H, you have the flat route.
Yep.
If you're the Y, you had a corner. 383, that's an out.
Yep.
The 8 is a seam.
Yep.
But it depends on what position you're at. Only thing that pertains to the offensive line was Ron.
That's it.
That's it. The protection, Ron. And then the quarterback or the center will make the point. Whoever the quarterback or the center points to. If he blitzes, that's who they're IDing as the mic.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you watch TV.
Yep.
53's the mic. All that means is if he blitzes, the offensive line blocks him.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
The first guy outside of him, the running back blocks.
Yeah.
Okay, the guy that I ID as a mic is 53. I don't think he's blitzing. Easy. 51's the mic. 51's the mic. Because I don't want the running back blocking him now. I want the O-line blocking him.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And that is so simple for me. But
Yeah.
dude, that is geometry to
For
other
some people, bro.
And I'm like, it's so simple.
For some people. And like, you have to understand your players. Are your players intelligent or not? I played with a lot of dumb players. And if you're playing with dumb players, you got to simplify it, bruh.
Hey,
You
I'll
got
show
to
'em.
simplify it.
It's some dumb coaches too. I'm not gonna say the coach name, and I'm not saying the player name. I ain't really not gonna do it.
That's a big one right there. I ain't gonna lie. Because again, the coaches is the ones that orchestrate everything, bro. They orchestrate everything. That's why I always put the blame on the coach. Well, not always, but predominantly, I'm gonna put more blame on the coaches than I will the players. Because you know who you working with. You know what they're capable of, and you're the one moving the chess pieces.
Hey, we were in practice one time, and the dude was really good. Left the Bengals and balled out when he left. But anyway, he made a mistake in practice.
Okay.
And Marvin was like, da-da-da. He called his name out. What the fuck are you doing? And he says, Coach so-and-so told me this is how it's supposed to be in the meeting. Because he didn't like he was getting yelled at. Coach so-and-so was like, I ain't tell you that. The other linebackers came to me and was like, he did say that in the meeting.
Yeah.
So the coaches sometimes don't know what they doing.
Yeah. That's bad.
And I was like, so then I went to Marvin after practice. I said, Coach, between you and I was told by guys in that meeting, that's what he was
Coach
told.
said, yeah.
Because I didn't want him to be looked at like he was dumb.
Yeah.
And it was the coach's fault.
Let me ask you this. What can you do when you have
That's crazy.
dumb players? Because if the Cowboys are in a position, I'm not saying that their players are dumb, but if you're not in a position where you're executing, what can you do when you have dumb players?
You have to simplify it. And it's what you said. 5 calls max.
Yeah.
And we're going to just rep it over and over. Because if you're not understanding it as a player, That's on me as a coach.
Yep.
I'm a coach. I don't even look at myself. I'm a teacher. I coached my daughters growing up softball. I've never played softball in my life.
Yeah.
All my kids were well coached. Every college coach in America. You play softball, baseball? No.
Mm-hmm.
How do they know this? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm attention to detail. You have to, if they don't go over it.
Correct.
Over.
Let me tell you a story. True story. When Chip Kelly was in Philadelphia, the offense would do a drill where they would run 4 verticals, all go special, right? You're running 4 verticals. And what we would do on defense, we would change our play call and cover 4 verticals for a whole period of practice. So for 12 straight minutes, 1's up, 4 verticals versus cover 2 defense. 2's up, 4 verticals versus cover 4 defense. 3's up, 4 verticals versus cover black defense is 2-man, we called it, versus black defense. 1's up, 4 verticals versus cover 3 defense. 2's up, 4 verticals versus man defense. 3's up, and it was just, hey, you can play every call versus everything. Now, there's weaknesses sometimes, but like every defensive call can literally match up against everything. Sometimes you might have an outside linebacker playing man on TJ. You don't want that, but you can match up versus everything. And that's what the great defenses like the Seattle Seahawks Legion of Boom did. Simple.
Okay. So that's that. Simply, they're poorly coached, which is what it says in the title. That's the issue. The issue is coaching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Appreciate y'all for watching. I enjoyed that perspective, TJ. But subscribe, stay tuned, stay blessed.
Let's talk about a quarterback.
Y'all ready? All right, so we got Speak Easy. Speaking on Tua, I seen he apologized, so I'm assuming they're finna give their thoughts on that.
That's no longer anywhere near an MVP conversation. And by no longer, I mean never was. Tua Tagovailoa got in front of a microphone again this
what
week.
the hell he
It
say
is a
this
weekly
time?
occurrence. This time, it was an apology for the last time he was on the microphone.
All right, so I, as a leader of this team, of the Miami Dolphins, the comments that had been said, I would say I've made a mistake, and I'm owning up to that right now. I've talked to guys on the team about it, talked to the leaders about it, and that they know my heart. They know that the intent was right, but no matter the intent, the intent can be right, but when things get misconstrued or however the media wants to portray it, that leaves a void of silence and a lot of questions for the guys on our team.
Before they go, I feel like he started off good and then he didn't end that well. Like right here.
The intent can be right, but
it's like, but it could be misconstrued by the media. It's not about it being misconstrued by the media. It's just, that's factual, but I just think you just don't do it. That's it. We should just keep everything in house. That's it. I'm gonna piggyback off of some of the stuff that they say, but it feels like he was going to take full accountability and he kind of like wavered off a little bit.
When things get misconstrued or however the media wants to portray it, that leaves a void of silence and a lot of questions for the guys on our team.
I think he need like PR, like they need somebody in the PR team to come out and give written statements to certain stuff like this, because it didn't sound like he would. It didn't sound like that was written. Again, he started off good. I just wasn't feeling the ending.
You feel like Tua needed to apologize for that?
I'm so torn on this. I'll say a couple things.
Need to, but I think it's a good
shout out to Tua
thing.
for retroactively taking accountability. Because here's the dilemma of what we do in society. Somebody messes up. We tell them to apologize. They apologize. Then we're like, man, you a punk for apologizing. It's dumb to me, T. It's dumb to me, Care Bear. So shout out to Tua for apologizing and taking accountability. Now, it's absolutely meaningless. Nobody in the locker room is like, yeah, hell yeah, thanks for that apology, Tua. No, the damage has already been done. Tua, you already called out your teammates. It's done. Your teammates didn't follow you before your comments. That's why they didn't go to the players-only meetings. Your teammates aren't going to follow you after the comments because now you just apologize for something that you've already exposed yourself for. You've already outed your teammates. Tua has already said, it's not on me. We got a lot of guys not showing up, not dedicated. We still need to figure out who are those guys. So the apology in my mind, though, thank you for it, and I'm not going to condemn him for it, it was a waste of time because, T, you're not getting that respect back. Once the respect is gone, it's gone. It's like a soda can that has carbonation. Once you open that joint, you can't get the fizz back. You can't get the carbonation
He losing the
back.
bubbles.
It's gone.
We losing bubbles.
We losing bubbles. And that's what's going on right
up,
now.
man.
I think it's already gone, T.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
No, sir.
And if you're going to criticize everybody publicly,
Yep.
let's apologize the same way. That's the right way to do it. But don't say things got misconstrued. You said what you said.
Yeah.
And this is the problem.
Yeah, and that's why I said like the ending of that kind of just like tailored it off, and it's like now you went from taking accountability to blaming the media, you know, and it's like the media's gonna do what they do. It's your job not to give them ammo, and you know it would have been better, you know, finishing by apologizing to his teammates publicly and you know just saying, you know, I should, you know, just going about that a little different way rather than putting it elsewhere.
And I like Tua. I like Tua. That's my guy. We get along very well. But when you have a players-only meeting, that's the players calling that. Coaches have nothing to do with that. If the player chooses to come, he chooses to come.
How you doing?
He don't have to come. He chooses to come. He doesn't choose to come. That's on him. What should have happened was this. When you don't show up, I'm addressing that.
Correct.
We have a players-only meeting either before or after practice.
Yeah.
So we have it before practice, after practice in the locker room. While we all in the locker room, because everybody's in there, I'm calling everybody out that wasn't there. Hey, bro, we blah, blah, blah. Why you wasn't there?
Yeah.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
But here's the problem, bro. In order to do that, you have to have people have to fear you.
Hope you have a
right.
good day.
They have to respect you.
True, but to some degree, they're the same thing. I remember, hold on real quick. I remember at Texas, we had an defensive lineman, Lamar Houston.
I played with Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar ends up getting drafted to the Ravens. We had a players-only meeting. We had an offensive lineman, I'll keep him nameless. He was 6'4", 340 pounds, not drafted, 5-star recruit. He didn't show up to the meeting or showed up late. Lamar, why the hell you late? He smacked his lips, he laughed. If we do something in Texas, if you're in a fight, take it to the storm. Take it to the storm. What? Take it to the storm. Take it to the storm. What? The storm was the locker room. Next thing you know, we had two 6'4", 300-pounders fighting because Lamar was like, hey, I'm going to address this. Throw these hands right here, right now. I do not think Tua Tagovailoa has the fear of his teammates.
You know he doesn't because he went to the media.
I agree with that. I don't think it's necessary to, you know, in that situation, especially being a quarterback, to rule by fear. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's what's the word I'm looking for? Reverence. I think that's what it is. Like, they respect you, they revere you, but not fear you. You know.
To get his point across.
Yeah.
He could have got his point across.
I believe that's the right word.
To the person or persons in practice. Coach could have been up, Mike McDaniel. We all know how it goes. Wednesday morning meeting.
Yeah.
Thursday morning, whatever. Coach, I got something to say. Because the head coach is up Wednesday and Thursday in front of Coach. I got something to say. Address the team right there for the guys that didn't show up to the players. Call them out right there.
Interesting.
That's what you do. You call them out in front of their teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it in the media. So when you do it into the media, they looking into it like, excuse my language,
really
like,
good
what
point.
the fuck is wrong with him?
Yeah.
So that's how you handle it.
So you think Tua should have got up there and said, now, should he called him out by name? Because to me, but that's still snitching, T.
No.
It is. If the coaches are there, that's snitching. But he should have got up there in my mind and said, you know who the hell you are.
You already know. When you went to your position meeting, bruh, coach, can you believe so-and-so ain't show up?
Yeah.
And when they tell that coach, he telling the head coach.
Yeah.
They already know who showed up and who didn't.
Yeah.
They know.
So you call him out in front of everybody.
I would, and all the guys I played with, they know that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something, but that's me.
Now, at that point, though, to me, it's already too late. Because if players aren't showing up to players-only meetings, even if you call them out, you're not going to be able to force them to show up.
You know what the thing is, Acho? The players that didn't show up, if they are players that you rely on,
Yeah.
that's the worst part.
It's a wrap.
If you rely on them,
TJ, I'll say this.
that's the worst part.
I don't think he calls them out publicly like that if they weren't players that he didn't rely on.
And I think calling them out is going to entice them not to want to go to another one if another players only meeting, especially if Tua's involved.
I think, in my opinion, they had to be players that they're relying on for him to be frustrated
They're
enough
not
to say it to the
backup
media.
offensive linemen.
So
Then
that's
a
that in my
problem.
way makes it like I've had more time to think about this. I think Tua felt stuck because they're guys that he needs to be there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're not showing up because they either don't respect him or they don't respect the coach. But I think it was more of a, I can call you out in a meeting, but if you really don't respect me, all right, I'm going to call your ass out publicly.
But
Like,
this is that point where I hate the phrase "lost the locker room." I hate that. What the hell does that look like? I hate when journalists created it. Oh, you're going to lose the locker room.
Who loses the locker room?
I don't know. I hate that phrase.
The Longhorns of 2010.
But if there was ever a resemblance of losing a locker room, what's going on in Miami is that. Because at the point in which players aren't showing up to players-only meetings and Tua is relying on those players to show up to the players-only meetings, that's why he's calling them out. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Because you don't show up to a players-only meeting for one or two reasons. Number one, it's going to be a waste of time. Meaning, if I show up, ain't nothing finna change. We sorry. And if you don't think you can change anything because you sorry, you will never change anything because you're sorry. You feel me?
You know what needs to happen? Wednesday, Thursday, we full pads. One of the pairs going to be live.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, we full pads. One of the pairs going to be live. We practice an hour and a half. We're practicing 2 hours today.
Yeah.
And Mike McDaniel, they're losing.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when you lose.
But here's the problem. Let's be
You
real.
got to make these practices harder.
If Tua was Cam Newton, could do it. If Tua was Josh Allen, could do it. And I'm not saying by talent, I'm saying by physicality. Why am I saying that? Because Tua should be the one to say, hey, we're going full pass. F it. I remember James Jones said there was a preseason game when he was playing with the Packers, third preseason game.
I don't even think it's about your physicality or size. I think it's about how you lead by example. You know, if Tua's out there 0 picks every game, 1 pick maybe on a season, 2 picks, he's been somewhat flawless. You know, he's having a very efficient, very good season. And he's calling people out. I don't think it has anything to do with how physical you are. I think it's you are leading by example, therefore it justifies you calling people out more. But if your play is iffy and your play is playing kind of mid, you know, and you calling people out publicly, it just looks kind of hypocritical and it's hard to respect.
Back in the day, the fourth preseason game, starters don't play. Mike McCarthy's like, hey, Jordy, you're down. James, you're down. Greg Jennings, you're not playing. Y'all at Randall Cobb, you're down. And Aaron Rodgers was like, nah, coach, I want us to go. And so McCarthy looked at everybody else like, okay, Jordy, you're up. Greg, you're up. Aaron James Jones, you're up. And James was like, come on, bro. But Rodgers was like, I don't feel good about where we are right now, so I want us to go. Everybody's going. The problem with Tua saying, hey, I want us to go full pads, I want us to hit, I want us to go live, you're a quarterback. We can't touch you regardless. But if Cam were going to do it, Cam could say, nah, hit me. You know what I mean? Like, Cam could actually say that. But Tua's in a glass case. We treat Tua so delicately. I don't think Tua has the necessary respect of his teammates.
He can go to Mike McDaniels privately and say, he could text him, call him. I think we need to go full
But
pass.
that's not the same.
It isn't the same. It isn't the same. But the point, you get the point. You've won one game.
Yeah.
You're better than that. We got to turn it up. Because ultimately, the Dolphins, Mike McDaniel may lose his job. And these players, y'all don't realize when a new coach come in, the bottom 10 of the roster, you gone. He bringing his 10 players in. He bringing his players in. The guys that make money, you got to stay. They bringing their own guys in.
But now, it sounds to me, though, aren't you turning Tua into a snitch? If Tua goes to McDaniel and says, hey, coach,
that ain't a snitch.
we need a full padded practice.
Is that okay? I don't look at that as that's what we need right now because we're not playing physical enough up front. That's what I believe we need. Mike McDaniel should do it on his own.
But here's why I disagree with you, T. I remember in college, we go to a national championship game my sophomore year. My junior year, we go 5-7. So now my senior year, I'm like, hey, we ain't finna suck my senior year. We can suck y'all senior year. My senior year, it's time to go to work. I remember we had a player. I won't say his name, Patrick McCopper. We had a player, and we were doing stadiums, and he was walking up the stadiums. What stadiums are in Darrell K. Memorial Stadium? You got to go up and down.
Yeah.
Up,
The
down,
snake.
up,
The
down,
snake.
the whole
Yeah,
joint. You got to snake the whole joint.
Yeah.
He started walking. I went to Coach Brown. I said, Coach, I can't win with him. I, Emmanuel Acho, cannot win with that player on the team.
What
and at the
position
end
he
of,
play?
he's linebacker.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, he has to give a scout team look to my offense, so they can't win with them. He has to do individual drills with me. He got to warm me up before games. I cannot win with him. So I need him off the team. I never saw him again as a football player. Stayed on campus, kept the scholarship, that's all good. But at the end of the day, this is my team, not your team, Mac Brown. This is Tua's team, not your team, Mike McDaniel. So if you can't win with him in the NFL, you can't cut dudes. But Tua.
But there's no way you can do that unless you're leading by example. That don't cut. You know what I mean? Like that, it don't work like that. Tua's not gonna say we need Minkah Fitzpatrick off the team. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, X, Y, and Z, or we need Dotson off the team, or, you know, it's just not. He has to be on a Mahomes level in order to pull something like that. You know what I mean? Or you know, just playing at a extremely high level. You know, but I don't know. Maybe that guy was already, you know, bottom of the depth chart. So it was an easy decision to make.
You have to be the one to say keep going. I would tell our strength coaches. I'd be like, hey, coach,
Realize Seahawks
we gotta
can't
go
win at
longer.
home for some reason.
We gotta go longer.
I need them to win.
Like, because at the end of the day, players have to take accountability.
They're
for
not getting it this
their
week.
Team,
One-
not the coaches.
100%. I'll say this. Me, if I'm a teammate of Patrick's, that's his name?
Yeah.
This is what I would do. And this is what I've done. If somebody is struggling, if I'm in front of them, I stop, let them get to where I'm at. Now I'm running with them. And I'm putting my hand on it. Come on, let's
Yeah.
go. That's how I did it. I'm gonna lead by example. Come on, bro, let's go. You got this.
But
Come
how
on.
long?
No.
Because how long,
Now,
T?
How long until you holding yourself back?
No.
Correct.
Yeah.
If he stop, as long as he's running, I'm gonna run with him. As soon as he stops, I'm done with him.
Yeah.
Because I'm showing you the support. I'm gonna lead by. Let's go. You got this. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. That's what I'm telling him as we run it. If he
go ahead.
stops, but then with Tua, let's go back to Tua.
Yep.
He may not just have it in him. Just because you're the quarterback and you're the highest paid player on the team, don't mean you're the leader of the team.
Yeah.
They want to anoint you as a leader, but that doesn't mean you're the leader. And that's the media.
I forgot what podcast I was. Gil's Arena. I was watching this podcast and they were having that conversation. The best player they were talking about the NBA. The best player is not always the leader on the team. The players do not always go to the best player when they need something. In certain occasions, it is, but that's not consistent. It's not consistent with every team. So I could imagine, obviously, in the NFL, it's the same way because there's 4 times as many players on one roster in the NFL than it is NBA. So it's gonna be extremely hard, you know, for one individual to lead all these people, you know. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a bit different. Better way of supporting the live YouTube or Twitch. Oh, it's your preference, Brody. Your preference. I appreciate you either way. On topic, I think Tua was right to call out people not showing up. It shows Tua cares and wants to win. Yes, it shows you care, but just because you care doesn't mean that you should express it in that way. You know, it's like being in a toxic relationship. I could yell at you, and I'm showing that I care because I'm telling you how much I want the best for you. But that doesn't mean that's the correct way to do it. I need to lower my voice. You know what I mean? So, Tua in this situation, what he did, yes, it's showing that he cares, but that's not the best way to do it. He needs to lower his voice. He needs to not give ammo to the media because what the media does is they're going to create narratives out of this, and they're going to be create narratives about players, and they're going to be pinning information, maybe even on the wrong players, because Tua has now just put stuff out there, and now you're making the locker room messy because it's like, bro, you got the media looking at me this way, but you were talking about him. You were talking about him, and they're assuming, and now these headlines are out, and now it's destroying my character. So when my contract come up, other teams, you know, may be thinking that I'm a problem in the locker room. You know what I mean? You're creating confusion and volatility in the locker room. So yes, he cares, but he's doing it wrong. What's up, Eckler? How you doing, buddy? Even vice versa, sometimes your best leader isn't your best player. Like Halliburton being a leader because he knows how to move the ball, not necessarily because he's hard to stop. Another reason great QBs should sit behind vets. You learn stuff like this here. I mean, he sat behind vets. He didn't fully start. You know, he had a sitting period and then a restarting period. So I mean, it's a little iffy, but I think this comes from being enabled, and I'm pretty sure Mike McDaniels enables him. And Mike McDaniels doesn't run a tight ship, you know, to where, because if it was tight, Tua wouldn't be saying these type of things. Because again, we've seen the best ran organizations, they don't allow stuff like this. You know, they don't allow player X, Y, and Z to come out and speak badly about their own teammates. You know, you don't do that because again, you're creating drama. You got to make it look like there's no drama going on, and y'all handle everything behind the scenes. We didn't see this behavior at Bama. There you go. There you go. And that's you know, that's why I blame majority of problems on coaches before I blame them on players. The players are at fault, but the coaches are the ones who orchestrate everything. You are the one who enable actions or put a battery in people back to be, you know what I mean? Like, and even McDaniel's not saying anything is saying something, you know, because it's like, okay, well, because this is not the first time Tua, you know, has done this. He's done it on multiple occasions, so. It's just again, it creates drama, you know. But like you said, Saban, appreciate it, Corey. Thank you, bro. God bless you. Thank you for the sub, bro. But yeah, Saban, again, Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, trying to think. I don't know about Sirianni, but you know, it's just how hurt. Yeah, I might throw Sirianni in there, but you see how Jalen Hurts carries himself. The last thing he'd do is throw somebody under the bus, you know. Thank you, Corey. 1-5 starts, bring out the worst in people. I think Tua's going after the season. Yeah, I mean, it could bring out the worst in you, but again, at the end of the day, you leave the drama where it's at. You because again, you don't want to give people ammo to create false narratives to mess up something. What that's gonna do? It's gonna make the situation even worse than it already is. It's gonna make it way more messier. So you just keep it where it's at. Y'all talk amongst yourselves, discuss it within the organization.
The quarterback always.
McDaniels keep trying to be goofy with the media. Feels like his priorities aren't right at all. He's got to get his team in order. He's in a hot seat. Yeah. Got to tighten up. I think got to run a tighter ship. You know.
Always has to be the leader. Why is that? If God, you know who determines who the leader, the guys on the team, whoever they're willing to follow is the leader.
Yeah.
It's not always a quarterback, but you always want it to be the quarterback because he's a face. He makes so much money. That just may not be him.
And to me, the leader has to be the toughest, most fearless, most dominant, like self-sacrificial one. And at the end of the day, it's not to his fault.
I don't think he got to be the most everything, but if he's balanced enough in these categories, I don't think he has to be the most toughest player on the team, but as long as they know that he's tough. I don't think he has to be the most self-sacrificial player on the team, but as long as they know that he is, you know what I mean? As long as he's balanced in all of these categories enough, if he hits everything on the money, then awesome. But as long as he's balanced enough, then I think, you know, again, leading by example, I think is a big thing, you know, that they'll respect it.
But Tua hasn't proven to be tough just by nature of these injuries.
Yeah.
So like I can't follow a guy who might get a hit in the head and before I know it, he's getting carted off the field in an ambulance. And this sounds harsh, but T, you play ball, so you know I'm not BSing here. Like
it's like even when he had that slide earlier in the season, he almost got hit in the head. Like I think he did get hit, but he was okay. But I think he almost got hit in the head. But he kind of slid kind of late. I'm not gonna lie. He got up smiling, and it's like he may think that's funny, but other players on the team don't think that's funny. And it's like you kind of got to just be, as a quarterback, you kind of just got to be cool the whole game. You know what I mean? because you can't get too high, you can't get too low. It's just like you got to be cool because you got to be ready for whatever. Anything can happen, and you don't want to. You don't want to enable everybody else expressing themselves in certain ways because they see you doing it. So everybody see the quarterback being mad and throwing tantrums, then that's going to enable them to do so. Everybody see the quarterback being happy consistently or being too happy in situations, that's going to enable them to do so.
At the end of the day, like, I can't follow a guy who can't demand a full padded practice because we can't afford for him to get hit.
Yeah.
I
You
can't
can't follow a guy that's not available. That you can't trust to be available consistently.
I can't follow a guy who unfortunately has that type of injury.
I'll also say this from an outsider's perspective. I have a lot of friends that played. It's interesting to see how players talk about their quarterback when they're not playing well. You'd be surprised. It's not like, oh, well, he's got it good. Like, that's what they say outside. But a lot of times, man, this motherfucker sucks. I'm out here busting my ass, and he out here selling us.
Yeah.
He out here throwing 3 picks. You think the team respects you? You want him to call a padded practice? Oh, yeah, Tua wants us to run it so you could pick him off 5 times.
Yeah.
Like, no, bro. Like, they don't respect him because they don't respect his play. They don't respect his availability. They just don't respect him as a quarterback. And that's why it's done in Miami. It's done.
Yeah.
It's been done. Like, whether he had this apology, whether he didn't, the fact that he says all this stuff in front of the mic is crazy already. They should take a microphone away from the man. But at this point, bro, it's done with Tua.
I do think he need a script when he go up there.
And he's not going to get any more respect from a locker room that's already lost. And I do think you could lose a locker room because nobody respects that man. Nobody.
I mean, I can't disagree with it anymore.
Yeah.
T, last one for you before we have to move on. Can Tua get the respect back?
It's easy. You got to win. Like, you know, when you start winning, it covers up a
Cures
lot
everything.
of flaws. And so if they can start winning,
Yeah.
and why
I think it's winning and being accountable and not pointing a finger. He has to stop that for the rest of the season and the rest of his career. The pointing a finger. You can't point fingers at Tyreek. You can't point fingers at the other leaders on the team. You can't point fingers at Mike McDaniels. Whenever he speaks, it has to be just about him and him first. If he's going to address the team, he talks about his flaws first. But you got to do that. You got to win and stop pointing fingers. That's it. And that's how he'll get the respect back. Self-awareness and social awareness is key. He has to know what he can and can't do. It ain't, yeah, for sure. And it's not about what you can and can't do on the field. It's about character. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. You know, when it comes to I feel like being a leader. Dolphins need to trade for wide receiver with Tua out, or they'll just tank at this point. Yeah, they in a tough spot. We'll see. Tyreek out. Yeah, I got you. I think Tua could be good, but I'm sure. No, I think Tua is a good quarterback. I don't think he's bad, but I think he kills everybody's perception of him and makes people look at him in a more harsher light. With how he handles the media. And again, like I said, this is not the first, second, third time that we've seen situations like this, you know, with how he handles the media. But he'd be good on the fence again. He doesn't have locker room stuff. I think him and Mike McDaniels it might be too buddy as a coach quarterback relationship. Might be too buddy. And I think McDaniels could do that, but it has to be a different personality of quarterback. And I think Tua could be himself, but has to be a different personality of coach. I think it's just a little too friendly. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. Subscribe, stay tuned, stay blessed. What we got next? I don't think I'm gonna do all of these. We'll see.
First things first, we have to.
All right, y'all, we got Speak Easy. Mahomes is the MVP favorite. Is Baker being disrespected? Let's go ahead and check this out.
Talk about everyone's favorite discussion during the NFL season, the MVP race. And as of right now, today, October
Did see those odds, and that's actually crazy.
14th, 2025, Patrick Mahomes.
This was
Now, I understand why they got him first, because maybe they're projecting. This is a projection. But if you look at where the NFL is at right now, if we ended the season today, Baker is clearly in the lead. Baker is if the season ended today, Baker is the MVP.
Is
Shocking.
the MVP favorite.
This was shocking.
This is crazy. He's first above Josh Allen, who's in second, and then Baker Mayfield in third, followed up with Matthew Stafford around fourth.
Can I tell you why this conversation holds so much weight to me? You just now know this. I've said it a couple times. Y'all might just be realizing this. So I'm an MVP voter. There are 50 of us that have been hand-selected by the AP committee, Associated Press Committee, and I am an MVP voter. I get cussed out by Baltimore Ravens fans still to this day because last year I voted for Josh Allen. The reason this is so shocking to me is because Baker Mayfield should currently be the front runner for MVP. I fully understand what Patrick Mahomes has done with his team, but the fact still remains the Kansas City Chiefs are sitting at 3-3. Baker Mayfield is sitting at 5-1. Baker Mayfield has led 4 game-winning touchdown drives. Baker Mayfield has beat legitimate opponents. Baker Mayfield has won in every single way, form, and fashion. And even the game that Baker Mayfield lost against the Philadelphia Eagles, he kept his team alive and kept his team fighting. So shout out to Patrick Mahomes for keeping the Chiefs at 500, albeit they've had offensive line issues, albeit Rashid Rice and Xavier Worthy have missed time. But the fact that Baker Mayfield is not number one is still kind of shocking to me. And in all honesty, if I can be for really real, I think there's a little bit of bias to it. I think there's some bias to the fact that Mahomes is Mahomes. We don't see Baker Mayfield as an MVP. We can't envision Baker Mayfield as an MVP. And as a result, people do not want to give Baker the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see him as an MVP either. It doesn't sound right that Baker Mayfield is leading the MVP race, but through 6 weeks he is. I'm going to take more of the LaShawn Shady McCoy take on this. It's 6 weeks. It's not the full season.
I got away from Shady
You got to be
today.
able to see the whole thing. And the thing is, even though they have a 3-3 start, the Chiefs are now rolling offensively.
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes is a huge reason why. He's leading the league in touchdowns now. They look as good as ever on the offensive side of the ball. They look like they're figuring it out. And now it makes sense. This is a projection for the entire season. The MVP is not won after 6 weeks of the NFL season.
Of course, but here's the
Yeah, and that's what I'm assuming the reason why the voting, not the voting, but the odds are where they at. They're just projecting by the end of the season, But yeah, we all know Baker's playing at MVP level right now for sure.
dilemma is oftentimes voters are human. That's why I so much love this responsibility of being a voter, because now I fully understand how these things happen. And don't get it twisted, these awards matter. Josh Allen had a $1 million bonus in his contract, if I'm not mistaken, for winning an NFL MVP. So these conversations that we're having, that y'all are watching right now, aren't just flippant conversations. Like, careers are made and broken based upon these conversations. Players will go into the Hall of Fame or not go into the Hall of Fame. Your favorite player might get a gold jacket or not because of literally this conversation that we're having. That's how important it is. Here's why I am frustrated with the likes of Mahomes being the front runner right now. Voters, listen. Not all voters watch as much tape as I do. Today, right before the show, I'm watching Josh Allen Atlanta Falcons tape just to see what happened in that game. And it was actually revealed to me, Josh Allen just played like trash. Like, some receivers didn't get open, but the Falcons were rushing 6 people, and Josh just played like trash. Not all voters are actually watching tape. They're listening to, FanDuel has Patrick Mahomes as a favorite, so he must be the favorite. As opposed to, actually didactically breaking things down.
That's actually crazy, bro. I think for MVP voters, there needs to be a checks and balance system. Just like how they can keep track of NFL players watching film, they need to do the same thing with MVP voters, because that you snub people out of very deserved awards. I think Lamar should have won it last year. It is what it is. But, due to hearsay, what you're hearing, you're probably not even watching closely enough. You're just listening to narratives.
Conceptually breaking things down based upon film, breaking things down. And so when you hear all year long, it's got to be Mahomes. It's got to be Mahomes. No Rashid Rice, no Xavier Worthy.
It's crazy, though, that he's saying this and he voted for Josh Allen. Now, again, to each his own. Whoever felt like Josh should have been MVP last year, he won it. Shout out to Josh. I like him. But just looking at the season individually, the Ravens quarterback had a better season.
No Chris Godwin. What about no Mike Evans? What about no Bucky Irving? What about no Emeka Buka for last game? Like, what about all of those no's? What about the fact that Baker Mayfield and this Bucs offense are absolutely rolling right now, winning games on the road, winning games at home? What about all of that?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting case right now. Out of all of those quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes are the guys that you would expect to turn it up towards the later end of the season, especially with the Bills coming off of 2 losses and the Chiefs having a slow start. But Baker Mayfield is the one that gets the most weapons back out of this entire situation. Yeah. Sorry, the Bills, they're going to have to trade for A.J. Brown. I pray you do. Please take A.J. Brown away from the Eagles. But the Bills are going to have to trade for a wide receiver to be able to get more talent around him.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, they're waiting for Rashee Rice to get back, and now you're starting to see, even after Xavier Worthy came back, they're starting to roll a whole lot more because they have field stretchers. Him and Tyquan Thornton have been incredible. But I think, like you said, Baker Mayfield gets Mike Evans back later. Chris Godwin back to go along and Emeka Buka back. And they're going to be a problem.
The fact that
I think
Baker's
Jalen
been
McMillan
able
coming
to
back
keep
this
his
season,
team
I don't know for
this
sure.
good while those players have been gone, that's what matters. Because Patrick Mahomes, I do think he'll make a legitimate MVP push as the season goes on. Remember, Mahomes has this team at 3-3. If the Chiefs mess around and go 12-5, mess around and go 13-4, mess around and go 11-6, all of a sudden we'll be looking back and say, wait a second, this Chiefs defense wasn't great. Mahomes did this by himself. If Mahomes finishes the season with 40, 45 total touchdowns, that's a conversation that we really will have to have.
Yeah, no, I mean, you speak about the favoritism that Mahomes and Allen have amongst the MVP voters. Odds also dropped today for Super Bowl, and the leaders were the Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills, followed by the Green Bay.
Interesting. I can see the Chiefs in there. I'm surprised the Eagles not up here. That's interesting. They got the Lions with better odds than the Eagles. And the Packers. And the Bills. My favorites right now are probably our Chiefs, Eagles. Those are my favorites. But to each his own. To each his own. Jackson should have been MVP last year. And honestly, Baker after that, his play was way more impressive than Josh, given Baker's team was riddled with injuries last year too. He still balled out. I'd have to look at Baker's numbers from last year, but I know Josh played good, but for me it was just statistically Josh put up numbers that we've seen before. We've never seen a quarterback put up 4K passing yards, being as efficient as Lamar was with how many rushing yards he put up, which I think was about 800. I just never seen it before. So I kind of felt like he should have got it. And they both had winning records. So if y'all both got winning records, well, I'm just giving it to the guy who had the better individual season, you know. Y'all both made it to the playoffs, all right, well. But, you know, to each his own. So you a Bills hater, though.
Packers and Detroit Lions, then followed by the Eagles and the Rams. This doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
You know what this speaks to, though? This speaks to how much parity is in the league right now. Now, I do not know why you have a team like the Rams there, and the reason being is the Rams.
I think the Rams like that. They got potential to cook in the playoffs.
Haven't looked good for 3 consecutive weeks. You know, they beat the Baltimore Ravens, didn't look good. 3 weeks ago, they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, they didn't look good. They lost to the San Francisco 49ers in overtime, they didn't look good.
Number one, Eagles still a competitive squad. Still one of the better teams in the league, roster-wise. Niners, cooking this year. You know what I mean? So, I mean, them not looking good against them too. You can argue me with the Ravens. After the Ravens got whooped by the Texans, I would assume they make some adjustments. So, you know, I don't know, man. I'm taking all that with a grain of salt.
So I think we just have the Rams there because of Matthew Stafford, because of Sean McVay. The Chiefs should be there. Yeah. They deserve to be there. They've earned the right to be there. I can tell you this, though, right now. Unless the Buffalo Bills figure out their offensive woes and unless they get Josh Allen help, ain't no reason for them to be there either. Yeah. Ain't no reason.
I guess the question is here, like, are you confident that the AFC still runs through the Chiefs? How many times? Like, obviously we know Patrick Mahomes every year of his starting.
I still feel like the Rams, once they get in the playoffs, again, because same thing, Chiefs are having their struggles here and there throughout the season so far. Eagles having their struggles here and there throughout the season so far. But I think once we get to the playoffs, the Eagles they're gonna be straight. I think that's a competitive squad come playoff time. I think Rams come playoff time, competitive squad. You know what I mean? Everybody's having their struggles right now. Like, there's nobody that looks flawless. So it's like everybody gets a little bit of grace, but there are those handful of teams that I think once they get to the playoffs, they're going We're gonna see some good football. Got a 96. Congratulations on the test, my boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Super Bowl gonna be Packers or Chiefs for AFC and Lions for NFC. Packers in the NFC. Chiefs is in the AFC. NFC kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, AFC's tough too, but NFC is a little bit tougher.
Career
Tougher
has
to
gone
guess.
to the AFC Championship at worst.
Yeah.
Does that continue this year? It looks like early on, Chargers were going to be testing them.
Yep.
Maybe the Broncos get hot and whatnot. Now it looks like, oh, it's the Chiefs. to
It's
lose.
absolutely the Chiefs. But the reason is, like, you got to step on the Chiefs like one of them roaches and make sure they're dead. And y'all know what type of roaches I'm talking about, depending on where you grew up. Like, the Chiefs are the type of team that when you have them on the ground, kill them. If you let these Kansas City Chiefs into the playoffs, who gonna stop them? Daniel Jones,
J Love,
Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. Like, who's going to stop Patrick Mahomes once he gets into the playoffs? I do not see a team being able to stop Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid once they get into the playoffs. Bo Nix, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Who's going to stop that team? So for me, everything still runs through the Chiefs. Y'all have to make sure if you want to win the Super Bowl that you don't even let the Chiefs buy a ticket to the playoffs. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, they're getting a ticket to the playoffs, though. Come on, let's be real. Let's be real. They're going to the playoffs.
Can the Broncos or Chargers not do anything about it in your mind?
No. Even if, I mean, like, wild card situation, you're not beating out the Chiefs for a wild card spot. Like, no, this is not. This is Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Last thing, keeping the Chiefs. Rashee Rice served a 6-game suspension.
Yeah.
My boy finally free Rice until it's backwards. It's finally backwards. He's going to be eligible to play this Sunday against the Raiders. How big of a deal is his
defense.
Gigantic.
I trust the Chiefs defense. Like, they got some iffy spots here and there. You could probably say like an outside corner, but those dudes do show up sometimes when required. But outside of that, though, this is, for the most part, when you look at the front seven, this is the same defense that they've had through all these Super Bowls. When you look at the front seven, so like they're fine there. Secondary, little questions, but I feel pretty comfortable with the Chiefs defense.
And tick. If you thought the Chiefs were making a comeback with Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice is what makes that whole system go. Rashee Rice is he works through the middle of the field. Xavier Worthy, he stretches a field. Like, Rashee Rice is going to come back and the Chiefs are instantly going to catapult themselves into an additional touchdown or an additional 10 points a game. And not only that, he has fresh legs. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's healthy at this point into the season. Usually at this point into the season, you've already played 4 or 3 preseason games, plus you've already played about 6 regular season games. So players got 9 games on their legs. Rashee Rice is coming in, and he healthy, y'all. He fresh. He the dude who's walking into that workout at the end. When you got your workouts with your gym, and they coming in 20 minutes in, and you've already finished one round. Like, he's coming in so fresh. So I think this automatically makes the Chiefs the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were that way anyway. After getting Xavier Worthy back, the offense has looked completely different. We do have a couple of super chats about this.
Talk to me.
Jonathan Henry said, "How is Patrick Mahomes #1 LMAO?" Doesn't make sense. And then we also had another one from Jonathan Henry. Patrick cost them the game against the Jags with the pick 6. Yes, yeah, that was a momentum shift.
Here's why I hate Mahomes being #1. Because if y'all remember when Lamar Jackson won the MVP, it was 2 years ago. Lamar was the favorite over Brock Purdy, though Brock Purdy had played.
Appreciate you, Corey. Another one. Thank you for the sub, brother. Appreciate you. Right there, every player picked up off season for it. Yeah, man, trying to.
Better up until that point. Now, we saw them play one another, and Lamar outplayed Brock Purdy. Then we moved Lamar Jackson ahead. But we cannot continue to live off of this name recognition bias. At the end of the day, Baker Mayfield is
what did you say?
Purdy, though Brock Purdy
Was a momentum shift.
Here's why I hate Mahomes being #1. Because if y'all remember when Lamar Jackson won the MVP, it was 2 years ago. Lamar was the favorite over Brock Purdy, though Brock Purdy had played better up until that point. Now, we saw them play one another, and Lamar outplayed Brock Purdy. Then we moved Lamar Jackson ahead. But we cannot continue to live off of this name recognition bias. At the end of the day, Baker Mayfield is outplaying Patrick Mahomes right now. Baker should be in front right now. Now, if you want to suggest that Mahomes will end up being best when it's all said and done, by all means. But I do not like when you just go off resume, bro. It's like when somebody comes out with an album and the album ends up being a hit and you're like, but have you actually listened to the tracks? The songs are trash, but you're just buying it off the reputation of the artist. Now, Mahomes obviously hasn't been trash.
I don't know. Brock Purdy. Brock was playing like statistically at an MVP caliber level. I don't know what year that was. Maybe that was one of Lamar's MVP years, but he was statistically playing at MVP caliber level. But I guess wrapping this conversation up, Mahomes is not the MVP favorite right now. I think he's in the conversation, and I think this conversation changes week by week, but he's not it right now. Because, again, Herbert was in that conversation, then Josh Allen was the favorite, and then now Baker's the favorite. Again, I still think Stafford is in that conversation. I think Pat is in that conversation. So, we're gonna see by the end of the season. And the Super Bowl favorites for me, again, it's the Chiefs and Eagles. That's my favorites to go back. But again, all of this could change. The teams that look good right now might not look good in 4 to 6 weeks. That's just the reality. That's just how football works, bro. We see this stuff every year, every 2 years. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Appreciate y'all for watching. Subscribe, stay tuned, stay blessed. I can do this Leonard Taylor one. I think I might save these for later because I got to do some studying. All right, y'all, we got Leonard Taylor. Shout out to the Highlight Zone. Signed by the Patriots. Let's go check out his highlights.
When
See what he brings to the table.
When you think back, that had so much influence on your career as White is hit for a loss. Well,
You can tell he's playing inside. Is this the same Leonard Taylor that played on the Rams and the 49ers? Is this what I'm thinking of?
Darnold looking around, and he's taken down.
No, this got to be a different guy. He's playing inside now?
He really wants to play well, Aaron
Good
said,
rushes.
to take some of the heat away from Hackett. Meanwhile, heat on May right there.
You can maybe attack in the Jets defense and given up some yards, and that's been on the ground.
First touch of the day for Antonio.
Good tackle.
A big game.
We saw Alex Van Pelt, offensive coordinator at the controls for this
He looks strong.
offense. Pitch
The burst,
Inside 5 minutes to the half.
the immediate burst is decent.
Mixon gets
Pretty
stuffed in
decent.
the backfield
Definitely
and
looks strong,
slung
man.
down.
Talking about the Patriots.
For 22
He
yards.
just got to be different. I'm thinking of Leonard Floyd. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, never mind. Okay. Like,
On first down, they give to Taylor, who's hit in the
I don't know if it's
backfield
clicking. He
and
looks pretty
taken down
solid,
for
though.
a-
It looks solid.
So they didn't get the
Good
play.
run
This is their
defender.
First offensive snap. Here they go.
Good
Taylor
pressure in
running
the
right with Stewart
pass game.
blocking it.
Scored 6-0 in the first quarter here. We begin the second quarter with the 2nd and 7. And not much there. The Jets defense.
Good tackle. Okay.
Quarterback pressures, and that is a huge loss on that line for the Jets. 2nd down 1. Williams trying.
I don't know how bad the Pats' run defense is. I'm gonna safely assume it's not great. But y'all let me know in the comment section. It looks like they got some good help to stop the run, in the interior. And he got some good, decent pass rush ability, nice little bull rush. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. Subscribe, stay tuned, stay blessed. All right, I've been off for hour 42. We gonna call it a stream, fellas. I appreciate y'all. I should be back on Twitch tonight for the react to the highlights after the game. But yeah, man, y'all be blessed. Take care of yourselves. Hope y'all have a pretty solid day. And catch y'all later, man.